This is downtown Revelstoke. Nice, quiet little place. Revelstoke Museum's right here. How cool is this? It's the first time I've ever seen one. So let's go in. All the music boxes in here.
Well, if that's telling the right time, then it's only 5 to 4. That's what it is.
Well, then it's early.
Yeah.
The valley. It was put in the very early 1500s. By 1550 it was known to have a musical barrel. Before that it thought it just sounded chords to break up the working day. So if you want to sound organ pipes, you've got to have an air supply. It's here, double acting bellows, putting air into the reservoir, slightly compressed by the spring to give us an even air supply for the pipes. Sacred music only.
Yes.
The bottom barrel, well, this was made in London at about that time. British traditional tunes, Rule Britannia, God Save the King, that sort of thing. We don't play that too often, but this is a time when there was no external music in that sense. There was no radio, no gramophone, nothing like that. This was your only form of music if you didn't actually sit and play it yourself. If you could afford the instrument, you could certainly afford a servant. It's a bit like the golf course up here that they will build one day. It has Nick Faldo's name attached to it. Well, I suppose he might come and play here one day, but you know. Sweating away, especially if he's young and handsome. No, he's nothing round the back. No distractions in this sense. So these are just fake pipes, of course, but round the back I can show you more. The papers come off, so we can see how it's constructed, like pie pieces. This is hollow, this wood, and they've all been like this, but they just have different colour paper on. The music's written this way. Instead of minims and quartets, you have a dotted dot and a line between them to show exactly how long these notes are to be held on for. The bottom barrel is just stored. The top barrel keys directly into the piano action. So the keys aren't going to work because it's actually in the piano action rather than this. As I said, if you want to play it as a piano, you have to disconnect that barrel. If you want to change the tune, you've also got to crawl under there. If you want to change the barrel, you've got to crawl down there. I don't like this piano already.
Yeah, there's a lot of crawling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm getting old. I don't appreciate all this. And actually, if you're going to change the barrel, you need your thickest gardening gloves because it looks spiteful, and it is. You might just as well get the band-aids out before you start. It always manages to get me whenever I try and change it. But what he's painting is still interesting. Bucks from your Sears Roebuck catalogue. So ordinary people could at last begin to afford something that would play. They came with full instructions, look. You know, it even says here in somebody's handwriting, and close the lid. You've even got a little reed puller here, so that if one of these reeds gets something dropped down it, you can pull it out and dust it with your little paintbrush and clean it. So 17... piano player. the development has basically been with any player piano, you don't pump it up, you're pulling air through. It works on vacuum. So when a hole appears, and look at the size of the holes now, they're minuscule, a tiny puff of air is sucked in. It goes down a tube, it meets a leather diaphragm. It moves about that much. As it moves a valve, which in turn allows a lot more air to move from a little bellows. There's one for each note. It's about this big in this particular instance. When that, you can actually see it doing it on the
That was a terrific little tour. And we've come down here to the center of town. Still tapping our feet from listening to the Nickelodeon and the jukeboxes. I think we're going to go have some dinner. Greg says he's really hungry.
Not too many towns where you get